Good morning, MouseHunt. Welcome. Feedback Friday. It is June the 17th. Feels like it's been a while since I've been on Feedback Friday. How's everybody in the chat doing? I think there's some chat about a law trap in the chat here to answer your question, Brian. I do remember looking at your law trap, and it actually, one of the current ideas for the law expansion was completely inspired by your sketch of that minecart trap. Everyone's doing great. Hello, hello, hey there. Hello to you too. I am very well. Thank you for asking in the chat, Sebastian. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to you. And I'm having a donut courtesy of MouseHunter Christian, who sent in a Tim Hortons gift card as appreciation for a bug fix release, which was a little bit of ironic because we made the bugs, but we fixed them quick. But thank you very much. The whole team is enjoying a box of donuts, so special thank you to Christian from the forums. Well, today, like I said, it feels like it's been a while since I've done Feedback Friday, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but a whole lot going on. We've been pretty busy here. We'll do a couple announcements. Well, I guess maybe actually just one announcement. Go over a few things, some Rift treasure maps, some Froma Rift stuff, mobile marketplace, Relic Hunter Season 4, a couple feedback questions for hunters in the chat. And if you're watching this recorded, I usually put a summary in the tavern section where you can answer the questions there. And finally, as always, a trivia question, and Larry will have rewards. So first up, quick announcement. Maybe you spotted in the ticker in the forums. We'll be launching an improved gifting interface next week, June the 21st. That goes out. Now, as part of the upgrade process, we had to change how unclaimed gifts are stored. So as a result, all unclaimed gifts will be cleared when the update happens. So if there's any unclaimed gifts that you're particularly interested in claiming, make sure you claim them before the 21st because they will be gone after the update. And actually, it occurred to me I should have taken a few screenshots of said interface, but we're still just kind of doing a few more tweaks, a couple little typos here and there. Now, I'm sure a couple typos will probably make it out, but we're just rereading all the copy on the interface and stuff. So bring us to what I like to call behind the scenes, where we'll go into what we've been working on. As I said, it's been a while since I've been on Feedback Friday. We've been busy here. There's a whole lot on the go. We've been working on some small additions to the Froma Rift, including treasure maps. We've been planning out a new area. There's been lots of things on the go for mobile, and to top it all off was the release of Puzzle Trap as well, which was a busy time as well. So first up, we have Rift treasure maps. Toast, toast, toast. All right, let's try that again now, featuring audio. Thank you in the chat for quickly yelling out no sound. Hey, hello, welcome back. All right. So, as I was saying to myself, the Froma Rift posed a couple challenges for treasure maps. It's the first Grand Duke, Grand Duchess area, meaning the mice there should not appear on arduous maps, since Duke Duchess hunters can open those up, so otherwise they'd open up a map and there'd be a mouse on it they could not possibly capture. The second challenge was that the Froma Rift is it's the start of the Rift Stalkers group, meaning that it doesn't fit in with the current Rift Walkers treasure map. So now to address those two things, eventually we're planning on adding map difficulty above arduous called Elite. However, we want to make we want to wait for a couple more Grand Duke areas before we add that extra tier of difficulty. Similarly, we do plan on eventually adding a Rift Stalker treasure map. So you can buy a Rift Walker treasure map scroll case, I think, in the Whisker Woods Rift. We do plan on eventually adding a Stalker treasure map, but we want to, again, wait for a couple more Rift areas or at least to fill out the Rift Stalkers group. So in the meantime, we'll be adding Rift-specific maps for Narnia, Burrows, Whisker Woods, and Froma Rift locations. These maps will have fewer mice and be relatively easier than the more challenging Rift Walkers treasure map. And as such have fewer rewards. However, if you're looking to put your ancient relics to use and collect a little bonus loot while hunting a specific Rift location, these maps will be a great fit. So again, they're a little bit smaller map. I think they only have about 15 mice on it. So they're a little bit easier, a little quicker to complete. And as such, you don't get as many rewards for taking on the much more challenging Rift Walker treasure map. But it's a little fit if you want to boost for a specific Rift locations. You can kind of put your relics to use. And I have a few. I have the scroll case over there. What else do we have here going? There is that's a treasure chest, sorry. There's a scroll case to match with it. And see if in the chat you can guess which is which. These will be obviously for the various Rift locations in the game. Question in the chat, by Tuesday, maybe, just maybe. We're still going through everything with a fine-tooth comb to see if it's ready to go. Some good guesses in the chat. I think it's pretty obvious which goes with which. So pretty, Karen says in the chat. Yeah, Lauren is the resident expert treasure chest / scroll case illustrator now. I think she has done all of them. When we did the Relic Hunter overhaul, she was tasked up, I think, with pretty well all the treasure chests and scroll case. So by the end of that, I think it was just 2 weeks. I just saw her on her tablet like, oh, what are you drawing? Treasure chest? Okay, yep. She's got it down to a science. And yes, accurate guesses in the chat. That is the Froma Rift scroll case. So once again, these scroll cases will have maps in them for specific Rift locations, but they will be slightly easier. So they'll have fewer rewards than if you go and do the Rift Walker scroll case, which spans 3 Rift locations. So that brings us a segue to the Froma Rift updates. A few small updates are coming to the Froma Rift. The main things we're aiming to do are boost energy and battery fragment collection just a little bit, as well as make the Ascended Elder a little more rewarding to hunt. So first up, the Froma Rift Trapsmith will be receiving a new Attuned Energy Induction Base. It acts as an upgrade to the Energy Induction Base. The base will require that you own the original base and is purchased with gold, rift circuitry, and a cherry blossom branch. So it'll be an upgrade to the energy collection base. The base has more power, it has an attraction bonus, it provides more bonus energy, and it increases the battery fragment drops as well. So a little bit of a heads up, if you want to get that on day 1 that it's out, you'll want to be holding on to a cherry blossom branch. The Ascended Elder as well, actually, I didn't grab a screenshot of the base, but it looks very similar to the regular energy induction, but there's a branch on there providing a little bit more power, a power bonus and attraction bonus. When though? Soon! Maybe we're still just kind of running through everything with a fine-tooth comb. It looks like it's good to go, so we're hoping it'll be ready by next week. But again, sometimes things come up at the last minute, little bugs or something that we would delay the release to fix. But soon, hopefully next week, I'll knock on this veneer wood table. But please take that with a grain of salt just in case it's not next week. Secondly, the Ascended Elder Mouse, its grip on the energy-infused broom is beginning to loosen. So capturing that mouse will come with a drop of an unstable broom. Now, when this gets added, anyone who's already caught the Ascended Elder, we're going to give everybody an unstable broom as well. So it'll be a new loot drop. You get it every time you capture the mouse. So if you've already captured them, you'll be getting a broom when this new loot drop is added, just to make it fair, so you don't feel bad if you already captured that mouse and it gets a new loot drop. The broom is infused with energy. Actually, let me pull up the room here. The broom is infused with energy. It's barely able to hold itself together, and the slightest poke by a hunter will explode the wooden handle, releasing a random amount of energy. You'll also find a couple items that the Elder has swept up in and amongst the exploded debris. It includes a random amount of ancient relics, so the Elder will be a good source of collecting relics if you're looking to amass a little stockpile of them, as well as another random item. And lucky hunters may even find an extremely elusive collectible as well from the broom. Which, hint hint, it might be this thing over here. So many things to poke in the chat, was a comment there. So we aim to make the Ascended Elder a little bit more rewarding of a catch. We had feedback from hunters saying it was a little bit underwhelming, and originally it was intended to be kind of a bonus challenge on top. Not really part of the main area, but a little way to go above and beyond the expectation of the area. Kind of bragging rights if you crown a really kind of difficult to capture mouse. But based on the feedback, we wanted to go back and just make that mouse a little bit more of a rewarding catch. Question in the chat from Christopher. 5 elders already caught means we get 5 brooms correct. When we launch this, the game will actually probably be down for just a minute or two while we just go into the inventory and we add a broom based on the number of catches. It'll be an automated process. We won't sit there and be handing them out one by one, but while the little process will run, it'll kind of put something into everybody's inventory based on how many catches they already have. Because it would be kind of a bad feel if we add a loot drop to a mouse. You've already caught the mouse. That's a little bit of not a great feel, so we wanted to address that. Now, with the discovery of unstable brooms, Larry was also able to devise a way to safely smash cherry blossom branches to release their inner energy. So if you're not interested in hunting the Ascended Elder and collecting brooms, you'll be able to smash cherry blossom branches for 100 energy each. Now that said, when you hunt the Elder down and you get the brooms, you also get energy from the broom, but there's a little bit of an interesting choice. You can either take the, play it safe route. I'm just going to kind of cash out all my branches right now for energy, or you can go for the brooms, which you get even more items. You obviously get the points and the gold for capturing the Ascended Elder. So it's a little bit more of a risk, but with more risk could potentially come more reward as well. So you have an interesting choice to make on how you spend your branches. And finally, the last thing with the Froma Rift update, the mice outside the Grand Pagoda have become a little bit distracted from their combat training due to the increased activity of hunters. As a result, the Dumpling Delivery, the Armored Archer, the Shinobi, and the Shaolin Kung Fu mice will not be quite as tough to catch. They've become ever so slightly less disciplined in their practices. They'll be a little easier for hunters to catch. And the Dumpling Delivery Mouse has expanded its pantry and will now drop 3 energy, or 3 energy, depending on which way you like to do it there, instead of 2. So right now the Dumpling Delivery Mouse drops 2, it will now drop 3. And that is the Froma Rift. That will hopefully be coming next week, unless something comes up during testing, which is quite possible, but let's hope not. Which brings us to a question from the chat. Where does Cherry Blossom Branch comes from? The Sensei in the Froma Rift drops it. I can't remember the name of that mouse. I'm sure someone in the chat will remember the name of the Sensei. Is it Enlightened Sensei, I want to say? Might be. Michelle asks in the chat, when will puzzle blocks stop dropping? Probably sometime next week. So right now, to celebrate the launch of Puzzle Trap, which if you have an iOS or Android device and you haven't tried it and you like puzzle games, I certainly encourage you to go to the App Store or Google Play and download MouseHunt Puzzle Trap. Kind of started as a little side project a couple of years ago. And just this year, we had a little bit more time. We were able to devote more time, finally finish it up. Derek put in a lot of hard work. Jacob and Lauren were drawing mice. Francisco and Kelly did a great job animating a lot of the mice. So it was kind of a fun opportunity as well to actually see the mice come to life and see them walk around eating cheese. Someone in the chat finished the game. Good job. I think we're at 230 people have finished the game. Let's check. Not to get too sidetracked, but 235 people have finished the game, and there are 1,260 people in Froma working towards finishing. And glad to see positive feedback in the chat that you're enjoying the game. There's a few little bugs and stuff we're working out, especially on Android. It's a little bit of a challenge of different versions of Android and different hardware. Sometimes little things pop up that we weren't able to reproduce on the devices that we have here in the office. But we're working hard on fixing all those up. We already put out a bug fix and improvement release as well. So lots of great positive feedback. It's good. We see lots of people playing it, going through the game, and seem like they're enjoying it. So we'll probably add a little bit more to it. Now back to MouseHunt main here. A mobile marketplace, actually. Well, that's a nice segue from MouseHunt Puzzle Trap Mobile into the MouseHunt mobile app. We've been working on a new marketplace for a while. We've pretty much wrapped up everything, all the development work on the new mobile marketplace, and we'll be putting it through more testing soon. So just to begin with, the mobile marketplace is going to be limited to just SuperBree Plus. In fact, I think we're calling it the SuperBree Plus Exchange to start with. And it will not interact with the browser's version of the marketplace. So it will be its own sort of separate system because it works quite differently. We're kind of testing out a different way for the marketplace to work where you can buy and sell partial orders. So there's no need to tediously make multiple listings to sell lots of stuff. If you have 3 sandblasted metal that you're trying to sell, odds are no one's going to buy all 3, and so you got to go 1, 2, 3, which isn't too bad for an item like that. But for things like charms, if you have 2,000 energy charms that you want to unload, nobody's probably going to buy all 2,000. You got to do little tiny batches. This will let you put up all 2,000 for the price you want, and people will be able to buy them. That screenshot's a little small. I can make that bigger maybe. Let's go here. So you'll be able to get to the SuperBree Exchange in the mobile app. And similar to the browser version, you'll be able to buy and sell SuperBree. So you can make a buy offer. You can say, I want to buy 1,000 pieces of SuperBree for 3,000 each. Place your order and wait for people to come and fulfill it. Or similarly, you can make sell offers and say, well, I'm going to sell so much SuperBree for so much. It'll show you all the SuperBree that exists on the market, kind of grouped by price, or at least like the top 4 or 5 price points, give you an idea of what other people are offering. And then you'll have a list as well where you can view your progress. So here is a screenshot. Somebody is buying 100 SuperBree for 100 gold each. That's quite a good deal. And it's 75% complete. And similarly, because you can buy and sell in partial orders, you can come back and anytime you buy any of the SuperBree, you can just claim a little bit of it from your listing there. So you just kind of slowly watch it fill over time. But at any point, you can come back and collect however much you've bought, or you can take down the whole listing and get what you got and your gold back as well that's being held in the marketplace. And if I can find this button again, where is this button? There it is. Oh, that's not me. Where's the camera? There's the camera. So it works a lot better. It's a lot less tedious, a lot easier to use. You don't have to micromanage all your marketplace stuff, and it's just easier to buy or sell lots of stuff for whatever price you want to see. And like I said, to start, this is just going to be on mobile, and it's a completely different marketplace system, so it's not going to interact with the browser version, and it will just be SuperBree Plus. And it's a little bit of a test. We're going to kind of get some feedback before we expand on that, and if everything goes well, we may eventually bring that to browser as well. Some questions in the chat about price changes and that. Well, it doesn't even really show you the marketplace or market price of an item either based on averages. It just shows you what other people are buying and selling the item for right now. So it really gives you an instant snapshot of how much people are willing to spend on SuperBree Plus and how much people are willing to buy it for, which I think a lot of people do in the current marketplace. You'll kind of look at the listings and sort of ascertain that for yourself. But this kind of condenses it all and it just shows you, well, there's 5,000 pieces of SuperBree on the market and they're all for sale at 7,000 pieces each. So you can go, well, if I make an offer to buy 5,000 pieces at 7,000 each, it will instantly complete and I'll get all the SuperBree. Question in the chat, what happens when you change your price and you've sold some portion? You cannot edit your posting once it's up. You'd have to cancel it and make a new one. So now if it's halfway full when you cancel it, you'll get half of the items that you bought and half of your gold back as well, depending. It also kind of matches up buyers and sellers automatically, so you don't need to sort of browse the listings. It just sort of happens. A question in the chat, will it be harder to sell big batches and get instant money? It'll be much easier to sell big batches, right? Because you'll be able, if you have something ludicrous, you have 5,000 orbs or 50,000 orbs that you want to sell. No one person probably wants all 50,000 of your orbs, but you can make one All right, hopefully I'm back. There's something about that 20-minute mark. The stream decides to never play nice at that point. Now seems to be okay. So to reiterate what I was saying when I cut out, it should be easier to sell a big batch of things. Like I was giving the quite ludicrous example of 50,000 orbs. No one person wants to buy those, but you can make one offer to sell 50,000, and technically 50,000 people can all buy one orb from you, and you'll complete your order. So it's very seamless. To you, it's just like, cool, I sold 50,000 orbs. That was good, and you don't really care how many people bought from you, but 50,000 individuals all bought one, and it just kind of happens automatically. So moving along here, the last thing on that we've been working on here is Relic Hunter Season 4. There's not too much to share here, but definitely kind of a heads up and an announcement that the 4th season of the Relic Hunter will start in July. With the new season comes a new limited edition reward inside of the Season 4 chests. So if you have yet to obtain the Warden Slayer trap, it's time to start treasure hunting if you want it. Now, as another note as well, because it's been common feedback coming up, the Relic Hunter journal theme is not limited edition, and it will continue to be available in the next season. So all those scraps, they're not LE, they're not part of like the season rewards at all. It's just those are just rewards for doing Relic Hunter maps. So Season 4 chests, again, you'll continue to have an opportunity to get journal themes. And they're quite rare enough where it's a bit of an accomplishment to get it in a single year anyway. So you really have to devote yourself to maps to try and get that very rare journal theme. What about the trap skins? I don't believe any of the skins are limited edition as well. So again, the start of the season is really just about that one limited edition item. It's just one item per season that you have to make sure to get if you want it. Otherwise that goes away, and then the next season you can't get that. But other than that, everything's about the same. And actually one of the feedback questions will be about treasure maps, because we also take it as an opportunity to look at the rewards for doing Relic Hunter maps, maybe making a few adjustments or putting in new items, changing things a little bit. But that said, the chests will be called Season 4 chests. So in your inventory, you'll be able to differentiate between Season 3 and Season 4. So it won't affect your old chests, but the new treasure chests you own, those might be different, and of course have a chance to get the limited edition item for that season. Any changes to the treasure map interface was a question we have taken as an opportunity to kind of overhaul and work on some new features. We'll probably go into a little bit more detail at a later Feedback Friday when things have been completed a little bit more and have a little bit more to show him after we've kind of tested things out a little bit so that it's firmed up and it's less likely that we'll change our plans. I don't like to preview things too soon. If it becomes immediately obvious that it was a bad idea, then I kind of like to maybe just keep that behind the scenes and we iterate on that a little bit more. So it brings us to our feedback questions. 2 feedback questions for hunters in the chat. And if you're watching this recorded, in the tavern section of the forums, there'll be a summary where you can leave your answer, at least for a week or sometimes maybe 2 weeks, and then the post gets archived. So this is a very generic, open-ended question. Just kind of crossed my mind the other day was, what is your favorite area or group of areas to date? So what is your just all-time favorite spot in the entire game? In the chat, someone said no Garbage Island news. Yeah, no Garbage Island news right now. Varmint Valley from Brian comes up first. Living Garden, Froma, Living Garden, Whisker Woods Rift, Sunken City, Living Garden, Labyrinth, Zokor, Sunken City, a generic Rift, Tribal Isles, Living Garden, a lot of Living Garden, a lot of Rifts, Tribal Isles even, the Salt Mines, I don't know about that. Sunken City definitely seems to be a popular answer. A lot of Labyrinth and Zokor. Whisker Woods Rift. A Zugzwang's Tower even. Meadow, I don't know about the Meadow. Meadows, Windmill, Meadow. The Meadow's getting a surge there. I don't know if those are serious answers or not. More rifts. The King's Stockade was good. Dracano. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of love for, I think, Labyrinth and Zokor, Sunken City, Whiskerwood's Rift, and the rifts in general, and Tribal Isles as well. Seems to be my totally unscientific survey in the chat there. King's Gauntlet. That is a lofty area. No love for the Warpath, though. I was expecting a little bit of Warpath to come up. It is one of the most popular areas in the game. Right now, the most popular areas in the game are... Let's see what we got here. Froma Rift has 18.3% of players. The Labyrinth has 12.5% of players. The Sunken City has 7.8%. The Warpath has 8.4%. I didn't sort that by popularity. Actually, let's look at adventures. That's like groups of areas. Sort by popularity. So the Froma Rift is number 1. Track down the retired Minotaur. Number 2, defeat Twisted Carmine is number 3. Slay the Dragon Mouse is number 4. Defeat the Dreaded Horde is number 5. Push back the Marching Flame at 6. Sunken City at 7. Tribal Isles again at 8. And Froma at 9. And Obtain a Rift Detector is at 10. And then the Fungal Cavern is just chilling out, tied at 10th as well. So yeah, lots of love for the Tribal Isles. A lot of hunters are in the Tribal Isles right now, and I wonder if that has anything to do with the conclusion of the Relic Hunter season, if there's some treasure maps going on. And there's certainly a lot of areas and mice in the Tribal Isles, and the maps may take you there. All right, our second feedback question, a little more specific, has to do with treasure maps, and this will kind of as well go into the upcoming update of the treasure map season. What rewards do you enjoy most from Relic Hunter treasure maps? What would you like to see more of, and what would you like to see less of? So this is specifically the Relic Hunter treasure maps and the treasure chests you obtain from there, the Season 3 chests. What did you think of them? What would you like to see different in the Season 4 chests? What would you like to see not change? Definitely like the LE traps. More King's Credits was a suggestion. Unique traps and bases. That's definitely what we try to accomplish with the limited edition reward. Ancient Charms, yep. Ancient Charms is definitely a good reward in those chests. Love a variety of charms. More Ancient Charms. Would you like to see more of the improved versions of the Ancient Charms? So you have your Super Extremes and your Ultimates. Would you like to get some more Ultimate Ancients when you pop open those chests? Yes, 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 meh, yes, 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 yes. They are really, they're pretty good, those upgraded versions. Unstable Charms, those are definitely a popular reward as well. Stuff for future areas, that might be a little hard to pull off, was a suggestion there. More higher level charms from the harder maps. That's a good suggestion, yeah. You see, Nightshade, some of the area-specific stuff we tried to get away from, and we're open to feedback on this, but the old maps used to give you very area-specific stuff, which often left you with things that you had no use for. So the new chests we aim to be a little bit more generic in stuff that you could probably use everywhere. And then King's Credits as well to help you kind of pick up a few odds and ends and let you choose what you want your reward to be. And then the layer on top of that, all the area-specific chests. So if you do a Fungal Cavern or a Labyrinth treasure map, you will get Nightshade for doing that, which means, you know, if you're interested in doing the Labyrinth. Now I suppose it does mean that you can't, say, do maps in Narnia and the Burrows to get Nightshade to then help you out in the Labyrinth, which is kind of neat too. But right now, to get Nightshade, you have to do the things that are themed around the Nightshade areas. That's an interesting piece of feedback in the chat. Was quantity over quality? Someone would prefer 30 ancient charms rather than 5 super ancient charms. That's interesting feedback. Maybe we can play around with some of the rarities of the rewards so that when you find something, it's always a nice, good stash of it, but you just find the good stuff a little less often. So in the long run, it works out to the same, but at least every time you pop open the chest, there's a nice big number to see. But then on the other hand, somebody's saying quality is better. So quantity or quality? Let's do totally unscientific poll in the chat. Let's just see how this goes. Would you rather see quality or quantity of charms when you open up a Relic map? Relic Hunter treasure chests. Quality, quantity, quantity. Why not both? An excellent response. Quantity, quality, a lot of Q's going on. I should have picked 2 words that don't look quite the same. This is hard to just eyeball it. Quantity, 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 quantity. Both. Quality, quantity, quantity, quality. Large quantity of quality charms. That's a both. Quality, quantity, quantity, quality. I just said the words quality and quantity probably more than I have in quite some time. Both was in the chat there. I don't quite know how to pronounce that spelling of both. Both. More charms. Interesting spelling going on. Quod, quad. Now I'm just reading nonsense. Now there's just gibberish going on. And Dennis took the liberty of making a straw poll. That what's the fun in that, Dennis? It has to be anarchy. It just has to be a chaotic spew of chat, and then just intuition at that point. Quantity for the lower end. Actually, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good suggestion. I think that's something we've strive for as well. So that if you're not going to get something good, at least you get quite a bit of it, which kind of helps balance everything out, maybe. All right, so pretty split on that. I might put a note. We can continue that on the forums, get some more people to chime in. Finally, that brings us to the trivia to wrap things up here at just past the half-hour mark. So I have a trivia question. If anybody in the chat gets the correct answer, Larry will have a reward. And we have yet to stump MouseHunters yet, and I don't think today will be any different. The answer is not 47. What recipe in the game requires the most crafting slots? So there is one crafting recipe in the game, and it requires the absolute most crafting slots to be able to create it. Here's a hint: you need every single possible crafting slot that anyone currently has unlocked in the game. Brian has the correct answer first of Ascended Cheese, and then Ryan right on his coattails. That's the expression I'm looking for with the adding on that you need 12 crafting slots. So Ascended Cheese, you need to combine 12 items to create it. And it is the only item in the game where you need all 12 slots. Close second there in the chat as well was Zuriel's Folly. I think you need quite a few. It may even be 10. I don't think you need 12, because I don't think as a Lord you even have 12 slots unlocked, or Lord Lady. But Ascended Cheese is the correct answer, and Larry has rewards in the chat. Ascended Cheese is correct, with 12 slots needed. And a reward link. If you're watching this recorded, the reward link will be in the summary, although it expires. Message not sent. Remove any web addresses and try again. Apparently I'm not logged in as an administrator, so I can't post the reward link. That seems like a bit of a miscue there. Let me see if I can. Let's see if we can get in. Can I add text? Let's see. Let's see how well I can use this software. I don't know. I don't think I can add text. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do, and this is going to be to the benefit of people watching this recorded, is we're going to open up an app. Let's see if this works. Why is not this working? We're going to be crafty here. We are going to be crafty. Open up a word editor. There's about to be an image of text is about to go on the screen. Creative solutions for creative people. That's what we'll call this. And we make that a little bigger. Maybe make it bold. Bold is nice. There we go. Alright, a little too big. We might change the color a little bit too. Maybe make it a nice, like, nice red. Nah, maybe keep it as black. That's a little easier to read. Alright. There's a screenshot. See how this goes. Whoop. Source A. Add a picture. I would love to add a picture. And it is, I think, this one here. Let me make sure what I'm about to put on the screen. Alright. There we go! Look at that. Creative solutions for creative people. I think that makes me a creative person. There is the reward link. Because apparently I did not log in with my HitGrab account. So I could not post a link in the chat. Did I claim that? That's the real question. That's the real burning question is, did I claim that link? Yes, I already did. Alright, sorry you have already claimed this gift. Well, thanks for the apology, Larry. Great solution. There you go. And if you're watching recorded, look at this! You have a picture of a screenshot from Pages. Alright. On that note, we can wrap up maybe with a few quick questions. Take this to the 40-minute mark. And then we'll call it a day. I'll get back, well, not a day, but I'll get back to work. Yes, it was 10 energy charms. If you go here with before 7 days from this broadcast, you can claim 10 energy charms. So any final random mailbag questions, you can field them in the chat before we wrap things up. If the stream doesn't cut out before then, which is entirely possible as well. I don't put it past the screen to. Oh, and thank you. A moderator in the chat who actually logged in with their correct account posted the link in the chat as well, so we can just click it. Thank you very much. That's a good idea. Now, of course, the first question is, when is Ronza coming? Don't know yet. It's up to her. When are we getting new Draconic area? Probably not in the immediate future. I think that will be a high-level area that we'll do a little later. At least that's the idea at the moment. How is the Varmint Valley area? We've been a little bit behind. Haven't quite finished fleshing that out yet. Hoping today I can kind of knock everything else off my list so that next week we can finally start focusing on that, pulling that together a little bit and get the art started up, because the artists are actually running out of things to draw. So it would be good if we have plans for what comes next. Will there be more mice for Garbage Island? Good memory there. I think I was talking about a Garbage Island idea a few weeks ago, but no new news on that either as well. I think we'd be planning out the law area before Garbage Island anyway. Any updates on the new area? I guess I covered that already. We're planning a law area, but been a little bit busy now and haven't been able to firm things up. More King's Credit shop items. That is definitely something we've been meaning to take a look at. Every time we do a release, there's a little note to kind of, well, let's review the King's Arms. Typically, we don't like to add things to the King's Arms immediately. I like to kind of wait a little bit just so that on the first day, if you have a stockpile of charms, it's a little anticlimactic if you just go to the King's Arms, buy a whole bunch of stuff, and then go to a brand new area. So it's a little awkward, but that's why we kind of avoid that. But every time we do an update, we kind of look at old areas and see, like, well, is it time to add things to the King's Credit? Can you close the marketplace when Ronza arrives? Actually, when I visited Singapore and saw mouse hunters there at a mouse hunt meet, that was a very popular piece of Feedback, very popular suggestion, and we do plan to look at that. So we'll be either freezing items on the marketplace that Ronza brings when she arrives, so that if you have an order up to buy something, that you don't kind of get gouged a little bit because you happen to be asleep or you didn't get it down in time. Or alternatively, we're looking at ways to just kind of cancel everyone's orders or something, but that's a little confusing as well. If you don't like catch that journal entry, you might think, well, where'd my stuff go? I just lost stuff. So, but we're definitely taking a look, see if there's something we can do. Summer Olympics, we do plan on something small, a way to capture the mice. It won't be anything too big of a grand event, but we do have some sporty-themed mice that we want to make available. So we do plan on doing something, a little small event, kind of a nod to it, a few little rewards, and that's about it. How's Puzzle Trap going for you guys? It looks very encouraging. It's a little early to say, but definitely see a lot of potential. Like I said earlier, a lot of hunters are going through it. There's over 1,000 hunters in Froma. A couple hundred people have already kind of finished the game as well, so it looks encouraging. Is there a parade? There might be a parade going on outside. There's a lot of yelling going on. The Larry football locker, that had kind of a mixed bag of review, so I don't think we wanted to repeat the little football/soccer event. More journal themes is a suggestion. It's kind of neat, and it's something good for an artist to work on, and there's not too much else going on. Any uses for runny cheese was a question. A little too early to tell. It would be nice if we kind of incorporated that again into the little event, but again, we don't really have a concrete plan, so don't want to really say anything too much. Dennis in the chat says he loved the mouse animations in Puzzle Trap. I will pass that on to the talented animators, who I think did a great job. I know I got a pretty nice, enthusiastic giggle the first time I saw a mouse walk over and eat a piece of cheese. Are Ultimate Luck or Power Charms going to be craftable? No plans in the immediate future, but kind of neat. Will the mutated behemoth be buffed if you overhaul the toxic spill? Too early to say, right? We do kind of want to give it a fresh coat of paint, and that's definitely some feedback as well, but a little too early to say. Can there be new gifts of the day? That has also been on our radar for a while. We're going to be doing an update to the interface of gifting, but not actually what you can gift. Now that's kind of on our radar as well. We want to revisit gifting, what you can send, maybe make that a little bit more exciting, more dynamic, but no immediate plans right now. Kind of focusing on areas and mice before gifting, I think. The new energy induction base, will it work with energy charms elsewhere? Yes, it has all the same functionality as the regular energy induction base, except it has better stats, more power, and an attraction bonus. It provides more bonus energy when you find energy on a hunt, and it also increases the quantity, or a chance of increasing the quantity of battery fragments that mice drop as well. Suggestion in the chat, a lot of HUDs could be improved, and actually that's interesting that you bring that up. We do sort of, for a while now, we've had this goal of starting at the beginning of the game, adding HUDs to areas that don't have HUDs, and then improving areas when we get there as well. We kind of also pay attention, we sort of measure how people are going through the beginning of the game, how far are they getting, trying to see, well, are you having fun, what parts are frustrating, where do they quit or get confused. So that is something on our plate as well. We right now anyway, we're kind of starting a bit on the mobile front. Most of the new players come in through mobile, so we've kind of started over there, but it's definitely on our screens, or on our radar, if I could keep using that expression. Increased flower drops from the windmill? I think we did not too long ago. The drops were increased, and the slowdown mechanic was removed as well, so that was a good example, actually. We're kind of watching new players go through the windmill, and it was a little bit confusing. It was a little bit too much too soon. So we simplified the windmill, and that kind of helped get more players through the windmill and into the harbor. And at that note, that brings us to 45 minutes, and I've been sitting next to a URL now for, I think, 10 minutes. So thanks for joining me, Mouse Hunters. I'll see you next week, unless it's Jacob. I don't even know anymore. It's pretty random. So somebody will see you next week. Unless, is it a holiday? No, the end of the month there's a holiday on a Friday. So thanks for joining me. Happy hunting. Thanks for the feedback, and there will be a summary of today's Feedback Friday in the Tavern section of the forums if you want to chime in some more feedback on the feedback questions. Until then, happy hunting. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you. Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you, catch you, catch you. All I wanna do is impress you with my mouse trap. All I wanna do is convince you with my cheese.
Like I say again, Christian, thank you for the Tim Hortons gift card here. Andrew brought in some donuts. All right.
I need some more super